Hello, my name is Greg Williams. For the next few minutes, we're going to look at the issue of socialized medicine and its potential as a solution for our national healthcare issues. Julia Wright presented us with the core conflict she sees in healthcare in our textbook. Let's begin by making sure we're on the same page with what privatized and socialized medicine are. Privatized is primarily what we have in the United States today. A healthcare system that's neither operated nor funded by the federal government. The majority of it is run by corporations and insurance companies. Socialized medicine, on the other hand, is operated and funded by the federal government through use of tax monies that are collected. There is a different version called the single-payer health, which is where the government will fund healthcare but is not within the realm of operations. Though we usually think elsewhere in the world when we think of socialized medicine, actually the Veterans Health Administration would be classified as a socialized medical system. They are operated and funded by the federal government in the United States. Now that we're on the same basis, let's look at what Julie Wright sees as the core conflict in healthcare. While healthcare has become more evidence-based and holistic in its modeling, the infrastructure of healthcare still is very separate, and there's a lot of separate services that just don't coincide well. I don't think too many people are going to disagree with what she sees as the core conflict, but why exactly do we need to change? Well, healthcare costs are climbing at an unmanageable rate. Our techniques might be getting better, but we're not getting the people there to help them. And the United States is quickly falling behind the rest of the developed first world. We don't think much about it, but really the idea of large-scale healthcare systems is new to the world. The history of the world really revolved around single groups taking care of themselves and not a conglomerate of people working together towards it. So what to change is a large question. The problem is we don't really know. There's a lot of questions out there, and it's almost anyone's guess what the right answer is. The problems seem unmanageable, but the use of theory of constraint tools can help us simplify it. When it comes to innovation, you get a lot of things wrong before you get them right. Well, in healthcare, the consensus right now is we don't have it right, and no one's quite sure what the right answer is. Everything we've tried's come up short, but we'll keep going. The first thing not helping is that there's a lot of talented medical personnel being pulled in two directions within our healthcare facilities. They've got their clinical time that they try and spend with patients and help them, but they're forced into administrative aspects of their work that are pulling them away. And though these personnel know that improvements need to be made, when it comes time to speak up with things they disagree with, they avoid it because they already have an overload on their work. They don't want to take on even more if they speak up. The other side of this is that those people that do want to make process improvements find that they don't have enough influence to really change the face of healthcare in the nation. This is one downside of private healthcare that socialized healthcare can fix. This brings us to the even bigger question, what do we change to? We don't know what to change in the first place, so this is a very loaded question. What it's going to take is getting information from employees that really understand the issues. Is socialized medicine the answer? Well, Julia Wright seems to think that neither socialized nor private medicine covers all the bases. Both still neglect large sectors of the population that need something different. And both don't fill the capacity that the global health. Centralizing administrative functions under a socialized medical system does not address the fact that every facility works differently. Just because it worked in one place does not mean that it's going to work in another, and you have to be willing to acknowledge that. Bringing your administrative services to a central location also separates your expertise from the decision makers. what you end up with is the nurses and doctors and other healthcare people that really understand why the process isn't working have no way to reach the people to tell them that something's not working. There are several things that socialized medicine does address. For one, it does address the healthcare costs that are growing right now, and it will cap them and hold them at a more reasonable level. Second, it will eliminate the communication challenges between different facilities. And finally, it standardized the care that patients will get at every facility. At the same time, there are several things that socialized medicine misses. It doesn't really address the administrative load that's placed on personnel. It ignores that different places and populations need different types of care and services. And then also, it takes the decision making farther away from the people that really understand what's going on. Ultimately, socialized and privatized medicine are going to have the potential to address Wright's core conflict. The difference is, private makes it harder to do things on a big scale. Socialized, on the other hand, would be able to create the greatest change the fastest. To read more of Julie Wright's argument, and also to see her do a theory of constraint approach to healthcare reform, here's a textbook chapter that she has written. I hope that this brief overview of the issues facing healthcare today has helped you understand a little of how difficult things are.